You now in tune with broadband bullies. Let's go. Yeah, broadband bullies got a lot of juice. 4 different states, that's a lot of troops. Money coming in off the alley-oops. We split it 4 different ways, that's what family do. We hear them throwing shots, but they ain't bad.
What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy Next Gen 720. They say, worship the best or die like the rest. Where's my camera? There's my camera. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I haven't done a video in a while, but this is your boy Next Gen 720, and I am back with another video. Say, yeah, he. Wednesday, we had the Sony PlayStation 5 showcase. People were lined up in droves by the millions. There's no doubt about this. The PlayStation brand has been the dominant brand or the more popular console this generation. Microsoft has finished in 3rd place, you know what I mean, behind Nintendo. Who would have saw that coming? I mean, I didn't, pardon me. But Sony made they said all the right things. They wooed the gamers, you know what I mean? They say, this is how we trade our games and get used to 1080p. Remember all that stuff? 1080p makes you a better gamer. And then what they went out and did, they went out and got the better versions. Well, they had at the time, they got the better, the more popular multiplats. They went out and got Duty, the Grand Theft Autos, the Red Dead Redemptions. Destiny was huge for them. Star Wars was huge for them. And not only that, they ran the multiplats better. We're on the Xbox side of things were 720p, 900p. And you know that. You know, the guy from IGN, one was 1080p, one was 720p. Remember that? 1080p, 900p? You had the jokes. And then they came out with the mid-gen refreshes. Sony dropped the PlayStation 4 Pro, and this one introduced gamers to HDR. And I stand by this. HDR is, to me, one of the biggest things that happened this generation. You know what I mean? Make everyone go out and get 4K TVs with the HDR or better ones, you know? It was dope. Especially when done right. You got games like Red Dead Redemption looks crazy with the HDR, right? You got an OLED or something like that. The Microsoft answer to that was the Xbox One X. They released. Now listen. Now a lot of people may not know, but the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro aren't new consoles. They're not. It's not a new generation. It's just made to run what you have faster, a little shinier. Basically, resolution box. I mean, in some cases, a little better graphics, but definitely in higher resolution. And if you don't know, resolution doesn't give you better graphics. It gives you a sharper image, but not better graphics. That comes under the textures and the shaders, right? So this generation started in 2013. Bang, bang. It is now 2020, 7 years. A new generation is upon us. Take you back to E3 2020, where Microsoft, showed off the infamous Craig, and people, and there's no secret, Microsoft has the more powerful console with 12 T-flops, but their exclusive games are lacking. Everything they're coming out for the first 2 years or so, first party, will be cross-gen. So you remember LA was teasing Mike like, oh man, there's no need to get an Xbox. I can play that on my Xbox, this, that, and the other. Remember all that stuff, right? Where his Sony, my man, Jim Ryan, a.k.a. Lion Ryan, said, you know what? Sony believes in generations, right? Sony believes in generations. They came out and showed Spider-Man Miles Morales. They showed Horizon Zero Dawn and, Ratchet and Clank. And so people were excited. And I understand business. I was like, wow, because normally, traditionally, you might get one game if you're lucky. But they're coming out swinging like that. Maya, thank you. They're coming out swinging like that. I'm like, Jesus, like Sony just they said they're going all out. He said for the gamer. Then, how you see my man Lion Ryan? Something happened. What happened? I don't know. Hold on, let me see my mic is up. Something happened. Something changed. I told you guys for a while that, just for those who've been rocking out my channel, that a lot of people lost their job over at Sony. A lot of integral people behind the scenes. Publicly, we know Sean Layton got ousted. Yoshida got demoted from being the head of PlayStation for so many years, and PlayStation 4 the PlayStation brand itself has never been this popular, never made as much money, under him. So why the hell was he demoted down to indies? He's overseeing games like Bug Snacks. Something happened. Sony made a bunch of new hirees, and stuff started to change. So they came out that Sony was going to develop the Major League Baseball for the Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC. They're going to start bringing some of their now it's called PlayStation Worldwide Studios, bringing first-party games over to PC. What happened? Something happened along the lines. Let me share my article with you. Let me share my screen with you right quick. We're going to go ahead. Window capture. Let me show you something. I say, make cookie settings. Oh, I don't got, no. I don't want this. Oh, let me get rid of this shit here. Confirm my charge. All right, that line. Sony's Jim writes, we're going to launch the PS5 this holiday, and we're going to launch globally. You know what I mean? But actually, I have the actual quote, because I ain't got to go through. I'm looking through this shit right here. Actually, right here. We have said that we believe in generations. Make sure you guys can see it with me. We believe in generations. We believe that when you go to all the trouble creating the next-gen console, that it should include the features and benefits that the previous generation does not include. Right? And that, in our view, people should make games that can make the most of those features. So everyone was singing Sony's praise when Microsoft was talking about no gamer left behind. You know me, I say gaming is a very selfish hobby, especially if I'm buying a $500 goddamn console. I want my face to melt. And listen, it will be held back by 2010 hardware. Those consoles came out in 2013, but best to believe that tech is from like 2010. So it was like, whoa, we seen the way Halo Infinite looked. Like, man. McCabe, next gen, the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 games are being held back by our current gen consoles, multiple sources says. Upcoming next gen Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 titles are being held back by the current gen consoles. Multiple sources have told IGN's Mariah McCaffrey. The IGN took to Twitter overnight to express his thoughts on that matter. Now listen, third party is going to do what third party is going to do, and yes, turn that down, please. Thank you. They're going to do what they do, right? But we're talking about Sony and Microsoft first-party offerings. Yes, you're going to have several versions of Call of Duty. But in a few years, like they did last year, they're going to cut that off. But Sony's saying they're going to support that bitch for 3 to 4 years. So I'm not, and I'll give you an example, and kudos to EA. I know EA gets a bad rap. The next Battlefield game will be next-gen only. So games that are built from the ground up for these consoles, they're going to shine, right? But the ones that are cross-gen, not saying, listen, people get, it looks a little better. No. It may look a little better, a little shiny, but could you imagine how it would look if it was developed from the ground up to take advantage of everything in here? That's what I'm talking about, and that's the problem. I could see if they said, what the cutoff thing was the PS4 Pro and maybe the Xbox One X. Well, now Microsoft don't have the X. They discontinue those in the Xbox Series S. But you're still talking about the base Xbox One and the base PlayStation 4. They came 1.3, 1.8 teraflop. That is a fucking problem. It's a problem. They're going to support it for 3 to 4 years. That's crazy. That's insane. I know that the article came out and said, Sony will releasing fewer games or maybe smaller games. Like even with the Miles Morales, even with this new, what do you call it? Now you think what's it called? Horizon Wildlands. I don't even think that's Horizon 2. I think that's more like of an expansion also. Even with Thor Ragnarok. That's releasing again in later on next year. It's not going to be a full-on sequel, and I believe that's going to be like something like more of like the Uncharted Lost Lakers. Because listen, hear me out. God of War, probably my game of the generation. I'm gonna get the hell up out of here. With an installed base of 100 million consoles, right? It's sold about 10 million, and that's good. There's nothing to scoff at. That's great, right? How many copies of Horizon Zero Dawn or God of War you think it would sell with an install base within a year? Say if it sells 10 million units, right? Because console gamers really don't start buying consoles. They drop down to about $300, or so, and especially or they have to, or like I said, they cancel to EA or Activision or them to stop releasing duties or the Assassin's Creeds on older hardware. Then they have no choice but to upgrade. And God of War is my favorite goddamn game. So, like this is crazy. Like I'm still trying to wrap my head around this. Like man, oh man, oh man. I would rather them just give me a full-fledged sequel or something, and just push it back. Wait till the install base come in. Should I live with the multi-plats? But this is listen. This is when you went from your PlayStation 2 to your PlayStation 3. That was it for the PS2. Even Sony cut the ties when they went from the PS3 to the PS4. That was it for the PS3, right? But now, first party wise, you're still gonna be making games to run on 2010, the same games. Like that's crazy, man. This is your boy Next Gen 720. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Put my shades on Savage Motorman, man, and my bugging. I have no reason. Tell me, you have no reason to be upset. I feel like I've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, man. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. It's your boy Next Gen. I'm out of here. This shit is goddamn, they say, asinine.